Guys, the resilience of property 2025, the recap, 2026, where we're going, and the resilience that we're seeing in property at the moment. Stay tuned. We're going to give you a really good summary.
Good morning.
Top of the morning. How you been, Billy? We missed you.
The first one back for 2026. God, I'm excited. How are you?
Pumped. Big year. Good. Plenty of work to get done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, guys, if my camera goes on and off a little bit, it's been a bit funny. Just keep running the conversation. But
you talk first before we lose you.
I was going to say, here we go. I hope you can still hear me. The year of resilience.
I can. It's the year of resilience. You know what? And even in the last, there's been so many hooks and turns in 2025. You would be worried about investing your money in such turbulent markets in worldwide, economics and domestic economics. And you just think to yourself, far out, am I really going to buy a property this year because of what's happening? It's been crazy.
Yeah, I think 2025 was the year where we saw essential purchases and sales across the board take probably the number one position as a reason for a sale. That seemed to be the common denominator. People upsizing or downsizing, like these moves needed to take place. But it was also the year we saw investors come back into the market a lot compared to the year before.
You know what? It felt like a stabilization year where, in terms of that's what property did. Certainly not what politics or the economy or the world's done. It hasn't stabilized, but property seems like it has.
Yeah, and it's interesting to look at the data and look at where the best growth cycles have been. I think on the back of COVID, there was some really good. There were some really good numbers reported in regional areas, and that north migration up the east coast. A lot of people moving away from Sydney, but it's funny how the capital city has done really, really well, particularly in these turbulent times. And we're going to give you a bit of a reason why, and I think this is important. It shows a backbone for Sydney and other key cities.
And you know what, Bill? I've had a lot of people at this time of the year reach out on my punt or my opinion on on the market, on the property market. So, obviously I've done it a while, and people trust my gut, and they're saying, Mark, what do you actually think? How's that projection look in your mind over the next 12 months? I guess in a nutshell, real quick, I think houses I probably see about 3% growth, 3 to 5% growth for the year, and units I see it at about 10 to 15% growth for the year. So I'm really bullish on, and that's stock that sits under 1.5 million. That strata stock. A lot of people had got their land tax bill in the last week of the year. The assessments were made for land tax, which are new assessments now. And people are going, oh my God, if that's my assessment now, my land tax is going to look like this. So a lot of people are changing the way they've invested in property. So it's less buying a house and more buying a unit. And I think that's going to fuel that strata market.
But that might go over the top of someone's head. So I had that conversation in real simple layman terms. What that means is if you own an investment property that is a house, not generally a unit, your land tax component is much higher. Unit, it's split over however many units you put in the building. Now there's a threshold, and once you've surpassed that threshold, you're due to pay land tax. So what you're saying is the average mum and dad are selling the investment property house and they're buying a unit because it's divided, say, over 12 units in the block.
And that's another reason.
And that's changing the way investors are going about moving their money. One other reason. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just another reason why they're going to make some good capital growth. So I think, certainly last year we did see strata do real well. And we did see houses level out a bit. So it's going to be more of that this year, probably a little bit more aggressive.
Yep. Now, what's interesting, what makes a capital city, historically perform well? Here are a few bullet points. Depth of demand. Sydney has a far larger and more diverse buyer pools. That's interesting. Owner-occupiers, investors, downsizers, offshore buyers. Population growth and migration. Land scarcity and zoning constraints. Very interesting. Income resilience. I thought that's important. Like when you do go through these turbulent times, the income resilience of higher average household incomes, they're going to be more resilient to rate rises, lending tightening, things like that, compared to regional areas.
And Bill, I think also with a lot of the turbulence that we've been through COVID, and with a lot of the turbulence we go through with, geopolitical tensions and stuff that happens around the world, I think it actually reinforces really good countries. It makes really good countries actually perform better. An example of Switzerland, money, right? People have always put money into Switzerland because of why? Well, when all shit hits the fan, Switzerland just sort of pushes through. I feel like we're the Switzerland of Asia a little bit, with Australia. But, the big thing that hits the top of those lists that supports all of those things that you just read out for me is security, which is safety, good health system, good education for kids. We take all of those things, of course we have heaps of good universities. And of course I can walk the street at 10 o'clock at night and not have to run. Not have to feel like I'm being chased, or, I can get around. So, these things are underpinning our great property markets.
Absolutely. And you're buying into that as a part of a capital city lifestyle and capital growth. So yes, it's the accommodation over your head, but it's also the transport networks you've got around you. It's also got the lifestyle component there as well. We're lucky on a positioning like the Peninsula, Northern Beaches, where you've got, the beach, some of the best beaches in the world, the likes of Manly regarded as some of the best beaches in the world, but then also city access in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's very, 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 very hard to come by. And that comes into price.
So I think in summary, looking at the year ahead, guys, I think we can afford to be a bit bullish and a bit positive about it, even though with tensions and stuff that we see going on around us. There's always something going on around us, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's always news, or positive or negative. Like there's always, particularly negative, but there's always, like, if it bleeds it reads. There's always stuff, a reason why the markets are, and it just keeps on going. The rule of measure is double every 10 years for most places across Sydney.
And so far, units are the one that's under. So there you go, guys. We're going to be the ones reporting that this year. Any other topics you want us to cover, by the way? Drop us a
fun stuff.
Here.
What are you doing? What are you doing this year? Did you make a New Year's resolution?
Yeah, I'm doing a triathlon in 8 weeks.
Hey, how's it going for you?
Slow but steady. Didn't do my swim this morning. I have to make it up this evening.
You got abs?
No. This is going from couch to triathlon.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, very exciting. And what about
And
you?
I'm turning 50 this year.
What does that mean? Is that like, is that into retirement, or does that look like just going hard
Nah,
again?
yeah. It's, you know what? It's just, I really, I just want business to be, rewarding and fun for all my customers and my family and my friends. So it's more about just doing the great stuff. So not working any less on my 50th year, but just with a bigger working with a bigger smile on my face for the year is really what I want to do.
Love that.
However that looks like.
I love that.
50. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, if you've got any topics you want us to cover, put a message in here. It's a live show, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of this. So thanks for tuning in. First one back of the year.
Let's have a great year. Love you. See you. Bye.